and welcome to Sis Podcast, where you can join us for some honest and authentic conversation with your sisters. I'm Amanda, and this is Cerise, and we are your hosts for today.
Hi, guys.
So today, hey, it is. Today is episode 3, and we're going to be talking about #relationship goals.
Yeah.
I mean, but before we get into that, go ahead.
Go. That is a major hashtag right now, but we'll get into more detail later. But yeah, before we get into it, you were saying.
Yeah, I was just saying, before we get into the meat of the episode, I'll let the title tantalize your taste buds for a bit. Anyway, Cerise, how are you getting on?
I'm good.
How are you doing, Cerise?
I'm all right, had a good day, actually. Was at home by myself with the two. Mum usually helps me, but today I was on my own. And it was a good day, I think a bit of a boss mum, but, we'll get into that with the week of the win. Wow, the win of the week. We'll get into that bit. But yeah, I'm good. How are you doing? How's your day been? How are things? How's your week been? Because it's been a week since we last spoke like this. Anyway.
Yeah. I'm all right. I'm doing good now. I've had a bit of a bumpy week, if I'm quite honest. Just with I don't know, it's been, for the last 18 months to 2 years, it's been a bit of a roller coaster for me, emotion-wise, mental health-wise, and, recovery, because I've been going for depression, burnout, all these different kind of things. Recovery isn't always linear.
Yeah.
And even though I'm doing better and better and better, especially since I've given birth and all those pregnancy hormones are out of the system, sometimes you have a bit of a blip. And this week has been a bit of a blip. Yeah. It's like you know what happened actually? There's one of the days where I sat down. I've got a playroom. We converted our garage earlier this year and made it into a playroom. And I remember
Nice.
yeah, and so I remember before I even had kids, I used to look on YouTube and I used to watch random videos, and I used to look
cool.
at I used to look at people's playrooms, people could do tours of their houses. I used to think, one day when I have kids, I really want to have a playroom and I want it to be like this and whatever. And last week we put up all the pictures in the playroom, completed it, and I sat in there after I tidied it. I was like, this is exactly what I hoped for.
Yeah.
And it didn't fill me with joy. I don't know what happened. I was just
blah. You were exhausted, maybe. Maybe we were just tired, really exhausted.
Yeah. And I was like, why am I feeling like this? I was sat there wow, this is exactly what I imagined. I'm so happy with it. And I feel so grateful that I have it. But I just felt a bit numbed. I don't know. And I was like, I'm still not quite better.
I mean, I get that feeling sometimes. I hear you. I hear you.
Yeah. And so it's not been a terrible week, but it's just some of those little mental health things, they're kind of creeping back in. And I'm like, I wish sometimes that recovery could just be that straight thing. You just keep getting better and better and better.
Yeah, just upward trend. It's I guess you can say, it is an upward trend, as I say. Yeah, upward trend. Sometimes you plateau, sometimes you go up. You might have a little, exactly. It's a bit up and down. So, I mean, you'll get there, but you're moving in the right direction, right? So,
yeah, I definitely am.
And it's key to always recognize when you feel like you're slipping, because then you can try and, bring a a solution or try and fix the situation as much as you can. Or go to therapy or do something that, sparks joy, as that woman says. But, I hear you. It's a bit of a melancholy week for you then, I guess.
Yeah, there's been some really good parts of it, don't get me wrong. Yesterday, we met up for the third time.
For the third time. We're going to keep saying this. We're going to keep this count going because it's actually crazy.
Yeah, we met up yesterday with the hubbies. And the
first time.
Actually, no, both of your kids were there, and my youngest was there, Athena was there. And that was really nice. And so there have been some really good parts of the week. We had a great time.
Yeah, it was good.
It's just been a bit of a week, and so I'm really looking forward to this episode today.
Yeah, we can exactly bring some energy to the table. Yeah, defo. I mean, so actually, what would you say your win has been for this week? If you're saying it's been a bit up and down, a bit melancholy, what would you say your win for this week has been?
So my win is kind of linked to everything. I was really trying to wrap my brain what the win was. But yesterday night, so I'm on maternity leave at the moment, and there's been so much happening the last few months, from January onwards, probably even from before then. But I haven't been in therapy for months and months and months. And I was not going to, and I was talking to one of my friends yesterday about how I've been feeling, and she was just like, I know, because I'm on maternity leave, I don't want to spend any extra money, and
I
free
know what you mean.
therapy
Yeah.
isn't that great. And I was like, I just don't want to, I don't have the means right now to be spending any extra money on random stuff.
Girl,
And my friend
I
was like,
hear
if there's
that
one thing,
loud and clear.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
she was like, if there's one thing that you should spend your money on though, is take care of yourself. And then my husband said the same thing to me as well, because I was telling him about how I've been feeling.
Mm-hmm.
And so I went back into therapy, and I've
Yeah.
got I've got a session on Saturday coming up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've got a session with getting back into it, and I've got a new therapist now and trying them out. And so yeah, that's my win of the week. It's still a bit, it's not a downer, because I am actually feeling lots better, but it's the win of the week that I've recognised that I'm
Yeah.
slipping a little bit,
Yeah.
and I've gotten back on therapy. I've prioritised myself, and so yeah, that's my win.
Yeah. I mean, therapy is one of those things like, you know, people say definitely you should always normalize. Well, you should normalize therapy. It should be a must for everybody. And I've never had therapy personally. I know people who have, and obviously you're saying that you've had therapy. I wish I had therapy, but you know, you think, okay, so I'm going to go in there. What am I going to say? But then, you know, that in itself is something, because you think that you're actually all right, and then you actually may not be all right. But I might, you know, consider doing therapy. I think it's a good thing. I think it's a good gateway. I think it's necessary for everybody. I know people and of couples that do therapy every year, not necessarily because they have a problem, but because they just want to keep their, you know, marriage, I guess, 100 all the time. And
Yeah,
that is part of
absolutely.
relationship goals. That is a goal that should be, you know, we should definitely normalize having couples therapy on a regular basis. That is a goal, perhaps not conventional goal, but a good goal. But
Yeah, definitely.
yeah,
We've had marriage counselling. So obviously before we got married, we did like the
yeah,
premarital
same.
counselling. But then when Isabella was born, my eldest,
Hmm.
things like I always say, it's like say you've got a car that seems like it's running really well, and then you put it onto like a platform. I think it was Michelle Obama that gave this analogy, but like you
She's
put it onto
amazing.
like this
She is
platform,
amazing.
and they do this to cars apparently. Like, so they make a car, they put it onto a platform that shakes it loads,
Yeah,
and like anything that's loose will kind of fall out, even if it looks great.
yeah,
And sometimes you think there's no problems with it, and that's what
yeah.
happens when you have a kid.
Hmm.
Like you have your marriage, and like this child comes along and shakes everything like
Yeah,
so
yeah,
intensely
yeah. Hmm.
that if there's anything that's a bit loose, it's gonna drop out and it's gonna like show itself. And
Understood,
so
girl.
we had marriage counselling after Isabella, when Isabella was about 1, or just before she turned 1. And
Mm.
that was really good. We only had about 5 sessions, but I can definitely see the benefits of doing it more regularly. And to be honest, if money was like,
Money was
I'm hoping I
running.
can get to the point. Yeah, I'm hoping I get to the point where like the finances are financing a bit more,
Yes.
and we can do like therapy individually and as a couple all the time.
Yeah,
So I think
that
it's
that would
great.
be so good. Yeah, it would be great. Honestly, like you said, we've had the standard marriage counselling, and that was that's in pre-marital counselling. Not had any
Hmm.
sort of marriage counselling afterwards, but yeah, I mean, a couple of sessions. But I hear what you mean when you say when the child comes along, listen, they can shake the foundations of your marriage. Guys,
Shake it like an earthquake.
literally like like the house has picked it up, someone shaked it and put it back down again, because it literally can. It's like almost like a make and break moment, you know, in your marriage when you have children. It changes the dynamics, as you know. So
Hmm.
definitely important to, you know, navigate those dynamics well. So I agree with you there. Another relationship goal.
But see, this is really segueing into the main topic. But
I
before we
know
go
we need
there,
to go for my win, right?
I
Yeah,
need
I
I
forgot.
need to know what your win of the week is. I need to know what it is.
Well, I kind of alluded to it earlier, but I'm gonna say that my win of the week happened today. Like I said, I
Hmm.
was on my own with the children at home, which is, you know, challenging having two under two.
Absolutely.
And then having to, you know, also do chores and get rest and stuff. But I actually managed to work out again today, which was mad. Like
Woo!
I had to rearrange my whole day, because I had to make sure that, you know, things were in order. So I managed to do all the things, but then at the same time make sure I had, you know, it was all compressed within a specific time slot. So what I had to do now, i.e. record, I had to make sure that I was here on time, she says. But as in, like, you know, within a window of time, to make sure I had time to do all my stuff. So, you know what I said, you know what I mean. So yeah, win of the week, I've managed to work out today, albeit at this was me. So basically, I had the kids sleeping in the living room. One was on the sofa, as in the older one, and the other one, the baby, was in the little cot, like crib, in the living room. And I pushed all the toys out away, these massive inflatables, put down my little yoga mat, and then took out my 2 little weights, and literally just put the video on Apple TV from, you know, my iPad, and then just started exercising. But I had it like on mute, so I couldn't hear what the woman was saying. I was just, and then every time I would jump, I'd be like, soft feet, soft landing, because I didn't want to wake them up. So it's literally while they were asleep, I thought, I've got a window of time here. They sit usually for about 2 hours. Let me just try and work out now, because then I'm not going to have time later. And also managed to get the dinner cooked, which actually, it was very strange that we cooked the same dinner today.
Oh yeah,
cheesy pasta. That. Oh my gosh, it was mad. I looked at your Instagram story and I was like, no way, this is crazy. Cheese pasta, same fusilli shaped pasta, cheesy pasta. It was mad. But anyway, yeah, that was a win for me today, was that I managed to, you know, time management, I think is what I want to say. Good time management today, I think.
Well done.
Yeah, so I'm really happy about that.
That's a good win.
Yeah,
I love days like that. And to be honest, the only way that I work out is I'm at home during the day with the kids. I'll just work out with the kids. It's great that you put them down and you did it without them.
Yeah. The only thing I was worried about,
I can't do it.
The only thing I was worried about is the weights. I thought I don't want to work out with weights. So Lucas is into everything, so I'm just like, there's heavy weights, like, and the living room isn't massive. It's a decent size, but it's not massive. So I didn't want it to, you know, him to get tangled up in weights and stuff until he gets used to them. But really proud of myself. Really proud of myself. Day 2 of my proper workout schedule. So
yeah, my dream is to work out without the kids, but actually tomorrow we're doing a little bit of a date night. Me and Raf, we're working out together.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
nice.
He told me, he's like, do you want to do it tonight or tomorrow? And I was like, okay, I'm recording the podcast tonight, so we'll do it tomorrow. So we're going to try and work out together once a week.
That's good.
The kids go to bed.
Yeah, that will work.
How it goes.
Yeah,
well done to you.
Thank you.
So before we get into it, our next segment that we've got is just the random question of the week.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
So this week's random question is, if you had the ability to time travel, what would you do?
As in, would I go forward or backwards, or is it just an open question? What would I do?
You've got the ability to time travel. What would you do with it? How would you use this ability?
Wow, wide question. I mean, a lot of people would say, you know, I'll go back in time so I can like fix my mistakes. I wouldn't waste my time travel opportunity that way. I feel that's a waste, because, you know, what can you do? The past is the past, whatever. I guess what I would do is maybe go into the future and stop myself from getting old.
So you've got another ability. Tell me, how do you stop yourself getting old?
I don't even know. But like, I'd probably go into the future and, you know, plan all these trips for myself, all these different holidays, make sure I have savings in the account as well. And I think one major thing for me is setting up my kids well, you know, with like good education and all the stuff that they need. I guess it's a massive thing. Basically, fix myself, fix my family. That's what I do in the future. And of course, stop myself from getting old. That's what I do with my time travel ability.
I'm so intrigued in how you're doing this.
I don't know.
How is going to the future stopping yourself getting old?
I'll see myself and be like, whoa, hold up. Just stop right there. Let me just, you know, fix your face so it doesn't get wrinkly. Fix your joints so they look nice and they feel nice. I don't even know what I'm saying, but you know what I mean. Basically, stop myself from getting old.
Okay.
And
I still don't get how you're doing it, but all right then. These are like some mad skills. Cool,
yeah. But yeah, that's what I do if I do it. I wouldn't go back, because, you know, what's the point?
Go forward.
Yeah, I'll go forward. What would you do?
I had a proper think about this. So, I thought about going forward. So what my husband said he would do is that he would go like a lot far forward, like to his like, what are they called? Not offspring, but like he would go further forward than Isabella
different generations, like grandkids.
He would go like far forward, like to maybe his great grandchildren, just see what they're doing, and to see like what's happened with his legacy.
Wow, that is deep thinking.
Yeah, because I was like, I wouldn't want to go forward to a time where I was there, because I think sometimes knowing too much about what's going to happen in the future makes it hard to enjoy living it now.
But does it
if I went forward,
but going forward, does it mean that you actually know what's going to happen? Like, it's set in stone, or you can manipulate?
Well, no, that's the thing, in it. Maybe it's not, but like if I went forward and I saw that, like, I don't know, at 60 I get cancer, maybe it'll make me live better, or maybe it'll make me more afraid, and I'll just
Nervous.
start living. Yeah, do you know what I mean? So I don't think I want to go to a period of time where I am alive. I think I need to go further than that. But even that, that's what he would do. I was also like, I'm not sure, because if I go forward too many generations, then I see like my great grandchildren living on the street, and they're like, it's all because of our great grandmother Amanda did this,
Who was
made this stupid
frivolous
decision.
with her
Yeah,
money.
so I was like, sometimes I think maybe it's better not to know. And then I thought I'd go into the past, not to change anything, just to observe things. So it's like some things that I really want to see. Like,
Why
I
was
really
that
want to
like
see my
this?
granddad.
Ah,
I
okay.
want to see my granddad when he was young.
Yeah, that's
Like,
cool
I just,
actually.
like, he tells me stories like when he went to America when he was like 20, and he was like in, like, okay, it's actually quite racist, they were. But anyway, he went to America. It sounded really cool, apart from all the racism.
Hmm.
Or like, my grandma would talk about what her grandma was like in Jamaica, or like what Jamaica was like in like the early 1900s, and just, I don't
Yeah,
know.
it's
It's like,
so much to
oh, I'd
do.
like to just go back and just observe things. I thought
Yeah.
that as well.
I limited
Um,
myself, didn't I, with my future trying to stop myself from getting old. I limited myself. Maybe
no,
I'd
no,
like
you
to go
haven't
back
limited
to.
yourself. Yeah, I just thought maybe to see things, but then I'm like, I don't think I want to change anything, because I don't know what the impact of that would be. You know, changing stuff, like,
Yeah, what if you
the
change
world is
something
massive
and then
anyway.
yeah, and then you couldn't get married to Raf again and
Yeah, I
something
wouldn't change
something
anything, just
yeah,
observe,
yeah,
learn stuff. But then actually, I think what could be good too, it's a bit dumb, but sometimes I don't like waiting in it. So like,
yeah.
um,
Oh
I
dear.
thought, so like maybe I'll use time travel to get rid of all the little times that I wait that I don't like. So like, time travel to get through childbirth. So like, I just skip over the childbirth bit.
Deep
So like, I get
thinking.
to have the pregnancy, and then like I just skip the childbirth. Or like, what else could I do?
Wow, you
Or
thought
say
about
like
this
I
proper.
wanted to go. Raf just told me like 2 seconds ago. This is where my brain works.
Wow.
Um, I was also like, maybe I want to go to Thailand, but I don't want to spend 14 hours on a flight, so I just skip it.
And then press fast forward basically and then arrive.
Yeah, skip. Yeah, just skip a little bit.
Oh my goodness. Okay, can you guys see what I have to deal with here on this podcast? Because she is a lot. And actually, I mean, I do agree with the skipping, the waiting, and the
Can you
long,
like
like the
skip?
lengthy time. Yeah, I can
Yeah,
deal
just
with
skip
deleting
little
that.
bits.
Yeah, I can delete that, fully delete that.
Yeah,
But yeah, interesting question actually, and of course, guys, we want to hear what you have to say too.
yeah, but
So
maybe I end up just missing out on loads of my life. I don't know.
yeah,
Do you know what I
sometimes
mean? Like if I keep
fun
skipping that,
things. So yeah, sometimes fun things happen in the waiting. You got to
yeah.
embrace the wait.
So
There's a lesson there.
exactly.
There's
So
a
that
sermon there. Not really.
exactly there is a sermon there. I can hear it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so time travel. I don't know. There's just so many options, but those are a few of the ones that I thought of.
Mhm.
But yeah, like you're saying, we want to hear from you guys. So don't forget, go to our Instagram, so.sis.podcast, and let us know, what
Yeah.
would you do if you could time travel? How would you use that power?
Yeah. How would you use it? Um. But onto the meat. I think we kind of got into the meat, then had to backtrack, and then we're getting there again. But
hmm
onto the meat of the topic: relationship goals. Now, I've never been one
Relationship goals.
for popular culture. Daryl's always cussing me. He's like, "Oh,
hmm
did you hear about this? Did you hear about that person?" I'm like, "No, I don't know who they are. I ain't watching them." Da 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 da. Oh, just so and so broke up, or so and so's getting married, or oh, JLo's getting married to the same person all over again, or she's broken up. I'm just like, I'm not here for it. I don't know anything about it. But a lot of people use these people as relationship goals. Now, I'm not gonna. The episode is not about judging who's right and who's wrong, and different people's way of doing marriage and life and whatever and relationships, but we do want to shed some light on what we think relationships goals
hmm
are and what they should be.
hmm
But yeah, we see a lot out there that a lot of people would term goals. Oh, goals, goals. But yeah, what are relationship and couple goals? What do you think?
See, this is the thing. So I feel like since the era of social media,
Yeah.
relationship goals have now become like this nice little hashtag fun thing,
Yeah, what does it
or
even
like
mean?
yeah, and also in terms of, I think relationship goals, if you ask somebody from a different generation, so like our parents' generation, our grandparents, they might be like, relationship goals are, these are the goals that you should have for your relationship. Whereas when we think of relationship goals, or like the social media era, when you think relationship goals, it's like these people are relationship goals.
Yeah.
this is what I'm looking to do. That's, oh yeah, their relationship goals. And I'm with you, like popular culture, I'm just, you know, I don't know what's going on.
No, I don't know what's going on either.
But there's always downfalls in putting your goals or your vision of what an ideal is onto other humans that are like they can be fallible, can't they?
Yeah, yeah.
Like
putting your hopes and dreams almost in a way.
Yeah. Because it depends what you do with relationship goals as well, to say whether they're going to be negative or not. I don't think there's any problem in looking at another person's relationship and seeing something that is quite admirable.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Admirable. Sorry.
We said this at the same
admirable,
time.
The same one. Yeah. I don't think there's any problems in that. But I think the problem comes when those relationships that you're seeing in that light are ones that you don't get to see much from. You only get to see like a curated picture of it, so you only get to see them
highlights,
like on social. Yeah, when the relationship that you're having as a goal, you only see the highlight reel.
That's not real.
Maybe it's not the. Yeah, that's the problem,
not real,
isn't it?
Yeah, that's the problem. It ain't real. What you're seeing is just the high, the high moments. You're not seeing the low moments. You're not even seeing the mediocre, like every day. And so, like you said, you're right. You can't put. And for me, it's easier said than done, because you know how many times you look at someone's life, you think, oh my gosh, their life is always 100. It looks amazing, and then suddenly, it may look even more glamorous when you're having your own issues at home. Absolutely. So everyone else looks more amazing. Oh yeah, grass is always green on the other side until you get to the other side and it's dry. And you're just like, oh my goodness, this isn't exactly. It's not all it's cracked up to be. These people are not all they're cracked up to be. So you definitely should be putting your like following people to the T. I guess there are certain things, like you say, certain things that you can admire and extract from other relationships, but it's not something you shouldn't ever try to replicate a particular relationship like to the T, because you don't know what's going on behind closed doors. And even if you live with them in the house, you're not living there, you're not them. You're not them.
Like your parents,
exactly.
For example.
Yeah.
When I lived with my parents, I would still say that their relationship is some parts of their relationship that I've seen growing up I would aspire to, but also I think one of the biggest dangers of seeing someone else's relationship and wanting to emulate it, like entirety, is that it takes away from the uniqueness that your relationship should be.
Exactly.
Yeah, and that can sometimes start to destroy your own relationship when you're just trying to create it in something that somebody else has, rather than actually working on what makes your relationship special.
Yeah.
Like, I remember when me and Raph were dating, I had a friend as well who was like seeing somebody at the time, and Raph would like text me like, oh, good morning and good night and everything. We're having like a sleepover, and Raph was texting me quite a bit. And then she said to her boyfriend at the time, why can't you be more like Raph, and why aren't you texting me all the time? I'm like, yo, and I was like, don't say that, because you don't know about why would you say that? And he found that really like jarring, because that just wasn't his personality. That isn't how he communicates. Yeah. And then you start to try and impose onto your partner, onto yourself,
unnecessary pressure,
things that are natural to you.
Yeah.
And then suddenly, like, who wants to have this fake, inauthentic relationship?
Manufactured. Yeah. Yeah, I hear you.
But the thing is, I was thinking about some popular relationships out there that people say relationship goals, and the ones that I was coming up with showed so quickly why you shouldn't do that. So I was thinking, back in the day, people have said Beyonce and Jay-Z relationship goals.
Oh yeah, wow.
People might even say that now as well, but remember, but things that you don't see, when people were saying that, they didn't know that Jay-Z cheated and that whole whatever thing happened. She made a whole album about it and everything. Yeah, and like
no one knew
back
that,
in the day, people,
but they're still goals somehow.
But they're still goals, right? And because you think their life is perfect, and then you start thinking that your one isn't.
Yeah.
And then Will and Jada.
Oh my gosh! Wow. Okay, so they would top the list because
they were top goals, isn't it?
Yeah, they are top, and I think it's because. I guess both of them are definitely in the spotlight. They're definitely used to being out there, but I think what people admire is the length of their relationship, how long they've been together, but then also they've had their bits and pieces in the spotlight, but nothing nothing overly major has happened in their relationship to make it be like, whoa, this is, whatever. Somehow they've managed to keep a lot. They've managed to, keep, I guess, a covering over their marriage, so not every dirty detail is exposed somehow. I mean, the whole Chris Rock?
Yeah, you're making me laugh, because this was the case before, and then Red Table Talk started.
I was just thinking about Red Table Talk.
Listen, and all of the things came out, that whole Augustine, whatever his face is, and their
oh my gosh,
entanglement.
Oh yeah, do you remember that went on for ages? That whole entanglement thing, the jokes, the bants on social media about entanglement.
Entanglement with August. With August.
Yeah,
so like, I just.
But you know what? She almost wore that. Anyways, this is why you shouldn't have these people as goals, because
when you have role models or relationship goals, and then their relationship crumbles, what then happens to your perception of what, relationships? Does that then, do you use your faith then in relationships when you've put somebody on such a big pedestal?
Well,
and that's the worry.
The answer to that question is yes. Whether or not you want to admit it, you do lose your faith in relationships a lot of the time, because you've set up this image, this glorious image, and this shrine to these people, and then the next thing is they falter, make a boo-boo, and you're finished. You feel like, oh, there's no point now, because they were the best. They were the best to ever have done it, and now they've made a mistake, so I'm not here for it. Which is why you shouldn't put your faith in these people.
Yeah, and that's the thing. That's why you see it as well with, like, even if it's not celebrities and you've done it to people that you know personally. Like, I know people that are like, my parents got divorced, so I don't believe in marriage.
Yeah, I've heard that too.
Because maybe you put their relationship as this pedestal, rather than seeing what you could actually create yourself.
Yeah.
I've been called relationship goals before, and people have looked at me and laughed at me like, yeah, your relationship goals.
Same.
And when people say that, I'm like, listen.
Do you live in my yard?
Like, you don't know what's going on here, okay? And it's not to say that my marriage is bad. Like, I think I've got a good marriage, like, and everything. But it's a real marriage, and there's challenges in that. And when people look at things on the surface and they're like, your relationship goals, this is when I really started seeing the trouble or the danger in it. When people started thinking that I was relationship goals.
Yeah.
Like, nah.
It's the same. And it's based, a lot of the time it's based on what you class as material things, outward indicators. So, things like, you got married when you were young, you had a long relationship before that, you had a chance to be friends, you've bought a house, you've got a car, you're both two successful, upwardly mobile people, you've got children, which are lovely, and you're still together and you're still smiling and nothing major has happened. That's what people call goals. And while I do understand that those are, those are things to be proud of, that isn't the day in, day out. When he leaves his socks that are not in the wash basket and you're like, that is
when
part
he
of the
doesn't wipe down when he ties the kitchen and he doesn't wipe down the kitchen surface.
The man has already had a go about this to me. No, but yeah, I get that.
Wipe the surface down.
Literally, I'll be texting upstairs, in bed. Daryl, have you wiped down surfaces? Oh no. Oh, can you wash the place and just leave the crumbs? I'm just like, ooh. But anyway, those are the realities of marriage and the day in, the day out of relationships. And it shows that you're real. That's nothing to be ashamed of. But these highlights that people are seeing out on the road with these celebrities, it's not okay. I know another couple that is relationship goals, and I'm yet to see the falter. And I'm not going to say that they don't have, obviously it's a real marriage, but I guess, I don't know, maybe they hide it well. Barack and Michelle.
The thing is, I don't think there are problems with having relationship goals when you understand that they're not perfect.
Yeah. When you've not got that perfection expectation, I guess. Yeah.
Because Michelle and Barack, they're my people. Yeah, I love them. When Michelle came to England and she did a little book tour, I was there at the O2, like, hey, Michelle.
Come on. Wow.
I love her book,
That's
everything.
Extra.
And the thing is, but what I like about them, though, is that when you read Michelle's book, even though he was the president of the United States, they're supposed to have this separation in it because you're supposed to be able to trust in them to run the country and run
Yeah, you
everything in
can't
it.
have them being all emotional, things that are happening at home
Yeah.
spilling out. No.
Exactly. But she's able to share that, when he decided he wanted to be president, she wasn't on it. She didn't want that. And they had to do marriage counseling. They had issues with fertility. She shared those things to show that they are real.
Real, yeah.
Yeah. And so I think it's fine to have relationship goals when you're having goals about some aspects of a relationship and you're not trying to completely copy what they're doing.
Yeah.
You're just seeing it as a bit of inspiration. I don't think there's a problem with that.
Yeah, inspiration is good.
Yeah, as long as you understand, that they're not going to be perfect and that you shouldn't expect them to be.
Yeah, and if people make mistakes all the time. You make mistakes, I make mistakes, husbands make mistakes, celebrities, goals make mistakes. It's not something that is alien or, it's confined to people that are working class or people that are, day in, day out. Not because you're rich and have everything laid on, perhaps don't have to be doing things in your marriage in terms of chores and house things that can often get in the way and get, agitated. Like, just because you don't have that and, they're rich. I say, yeah, they're rich, Barack and Michelle, they're rich. But they're real as well at the same time. And their relationship isn't entirely perfect. Now, I'm not saying that because I know anything, because I don't. But like you said, to read the book, I've read the book too. And yeah, it's real stuff. But they, to me, they're kind of goals to me in a way, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, like Michelle Obama to me is like woman goal, mommy goal, but also I'm not trying to
emulate her. Mm-hmm.
Because then when you try to do that, it kind of rubbishes your own self-esteem and your own belief in your own self, your own relationship, when you just think that you need to morph into something else. Sometimes when you have those relationships or those people that you see as inspiration, it may help you to see what aspect they're doing that is, inspiring to you. So looking at them, you might look at people and say, oh, actually, the way in which he shows, how much he loves her, maybe the way, no, I'm not talking about Barack Obama, just say it's a random couple and you're like, oh, I just love that every morning. This is what you say about my dad, actually. I used to like that every morning he would make my mum a cup of tea and she'd be able to stay upstairs, get herself ready, while he would look after me and my brother downstairs, get us ready for school, do our breakfast and take us out. I used to love that. I used to think, when I get with somebody, I really want them to bring me a cup of tea
in the
morning
so I can get ready.
Yeah. But that was if I expected that from my relationship now, it wouldn't work in our relationship because that's not our love languages.
But and it's not even that. If you keep that at the forefront of your mind, and I guess, it's probably dangerous ground I'm getting into here, but this is why some women don't get married or some men don't get married. Because you've got this list. I don't know if you had a list, but I kind of had a mental list. I'm not sure if I kept to the list, but I'm happy. I'm happy with my marriage, 100%. Whether or not the list is fulfilled, I don't know. I don't even know if I have a proper list. But what I mean is when you have, like you said, it's something very specific. Like my dad used to wake up and do, the tea, and mum used to get ready upstairs, and me and my brother were downstairs with him, and getting ready for school. Something very specific like that, and you decide, oh, I want that in my man, and then your husband doesn't do that. He ain't even making you tea. Never mind bringing it upstairs. That can cause a major issue because to you that is you're holding that cherishing that something, exactly. And then he doesn't do it, and you're like, oh, sugar, he's not the one, and you're missing out on.
And that's silly. When you're getting something where your goal for your relationship is too specific, and then that's not happening, it can blind you to the things that are happening. Maybe he's not bringing you tea in the morning, but maybe he's the one that must give you a back massage, or he's the one that will speak affirmations to you, or he's the one that will bring flowers. But you're missing all those other aspects of him showing love, because you're waiting for that
one specific thing. Yeah, and you know what? You never know how long. Also, you never know how long it would have taken your parents to get to that point of reaching that equilibrium, because no one walks into a marriage and it's perfect from the beginning. And I don't think you ever get to a point of perfection in a marriage. It's always just a whole load of give and take in a relationship. It's never, you've never arrived. Exactly, you've never arrived. Careers are changing, kids come, raising kids at different stages of childhood, raising teenagers, sending them off to college or university, all of that stuff. Your relationship and the circumstances surrounding it are always changing. So that demands change as well from your from your marriage. So you can't expect everything to, you would never have arrived if that's what, that's what I'm trying to say. You never have arrived in your relationship. But yeah, you never know how long it would have taken for your dad to get the memo from your mum. You don't know how many hints you would have been dropping. How many shouting matches? Could you just get me I need to get ready, these kids are around my feet. You have no idea, Again, another reason why you shouldn't. I'm not saying that happened, but you know what I mean.
No, but that's the thing. I don't know if this happened to you, but like since I've gotten married and then since having children, now like the elders in my family are now sharing things with me more. And so like my mom, like say I'm playing with something, she's like, Amanda, it just takes time. Like it takes the men a little bit longer
Your mum is
to
a
get
sponge.
into the fatherhood thing.
Your mum is a sponge.
Sometimes you have to train them, Amanda. My grandma will like break things down for me. She'll say, oh yeah, say I'm complaining about something. And to be honest, I'm very much in my marriage that I really like to, I guess this could be a whole nother podcast, but like sharing when you're having conflict in your marriage, like how, like who do you talk to, like what do you share? I'm very much
how
about
much do you share? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm very much about protecting my husband. When I got married, my grandma said to me, don't go running every argument, everything you have to your mum and dad and tell people
yes, exactly, agreed.
Don't go doing that. And this could be a whole another podcast.
Yeah,
absolutely, completely agree. But there are times where I'll be like, oh, just like you're just talking about things. She'll be like, Amanda, it's different. Like, just imagine me when I have my 5 children and your granddad, blah, blah, blah. Your granddad's a very good father, but it's different with the men. Like they share more things with you. They share more,
because you're at that stage.
And so now some of the relationship goals I even had of my grandparents, my parents, I'm understanding more of the nuances of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, whereas I thought, they were just perfect.
Yeah.
It's not the case.
Not the case. And,
let's go into it, though. What are some actual relationship goals that are important for you in your marriage? Like, what?
Okay, so we're not mentioning people, we're mentioning things.
No, I think we need to move back past people.
Yeah,
you can say, like, if you've seen it in somebody else's relationship, but actually the aspects, what actual goals do you have?
I tell you what, I think something that I admire a lot is a man that wears his heart on his sleeve, especially as black men. Obviously, we're both married to black men, right? Mm-hmm. So, but men in general don't wear their heart, and I think that's something that is a goal I like to see when a man does that, because as women, we just what you see is what you get. Like, it's very difficult for us to hide our emotions that way because we're built differently, and oftentimes, it may look like we're overreacting, but actually it's not an overreaction, it's just normal. But it looks like an overreaction just because the other party, i.e. the man, isn't reacting at all. And a goal for me is having, is being able to have a husband that is expressive in his emotions. I'm not saying bawling every 5 minutes, not that necessarily, but just being honest and being real from the get-go. And I'm happy to say, and I'm not going to do this for every single goal, guys. You don't need to have an insight into my marriage. Not yet, anyway. But, I am happy to say that Daryl is someone that does speak freely and openly. It hasn't always been. But, again, it's something that we've had to work on. Communication, but definitely that's a goal for me, is having open communication and a guy that shows his emotions easily.
And you know what? I might even reframe that a little bit. Because when you think about relationship goals, you can sometimes make it sound like it's the individual that needs to do that. Mm-hmm. But like, I have the same thing. But what I would say is, my goal is that I have a relationship or I have a marriage that my husband feels protected enough that he can show those vulnerable emotions to me.
Right.
I don't need him to like change the person he is and be like out there telling everybody. But I want our relationship.
That's true.
The goal for our relationship is that our marriage is a safe space that he feels that he can be vulnerable and he can show his emotions more.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I understand.
And sometimes, like, the whole, like, toxic masculinity thing, it can be really difficult for them to do that because of how they've been trained. It can be really uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I thought it's really important that your relationship is that safe haven for them.
Yeah.
To be able to do that. So, yeah, I completely agree. And what you were saying about communication, too, like, it's just so important.
So important.
A goal for me as well is, like, in our marriage to have effective conflict, like, to be able to argue well. Like, I think there's arguing.
Wow.
Because I wouldn't even say argue or disagree.
Expand.
Through marriage, so throughout marriage, like you said, you're doing your entire life together, and Raf was not raised by the same people that I was raised by. We have not had the same childhood. We do not think the same things about everything, and so we are going to
You're gonna
disagree or
clash.
have.
Yeah.
It's, of course, because we're not the same person.
It's two different people, exactly.
Even my brother, who was raised by the same person, we disagree on loads of things, and so it's not about not having disagreements or not, having any kind of conflict. I just want my goal for our relationship is that we can do it well.
Yeah.
As in, like, we can do it in a way that we're not
disrespectful or
nasty or disrespectful. We're able to communicate well. We're able to not hurt each other when we're arguing. And we can make it about the problem, not about
the person. Exactly. Boy,
yeah, I think that's a big goal
are
of mine.
sounding like a therapist right now. Because honestly, no, serious, like, real things, like, people don't understand that. It takes a long time. It takes a person that's very insightful and has an understanding to say, let's make it about the problem and not the person. Because oftentimes you can get into this whole, mudslinging match with your spouse or your partner, and it's not about them. You're not trying to attack them. You're trying to attack the issue, which is outside of both of you. Well, okay, it may not be outside of you, but you understand, this is the issue here. I'm not attacking you, and he's not attacking you, or whatever, vice versa.
We're together.
We're together. Exactly. We're together. We're attacking this issue. So yeah, that's a good goal. Learn to argue well, or to resolve conflict well. That's a good goal, definitely. Guys, I hope you're writing these down. Okay, if you're not married, these are tips.
To think about. And your goals don't have to be the same as ours, but those two goals, I think they should be same for everybody.
Yeah, same for everybody. Yeah, make sure you have a husband. Create a safe space in your marriage for the two of you to communicate well, and also when you're arguing, resolve that conflict well. And the two of you are batting for the same team. So it's not like you're not batting against each other. You're batting for the same team, and keep that in mind every time you have a disagreement. Any more relationship goals you'd say are sort of standard, or shall we just make it more anything? Okay, we can make it more specific.
I guess I was going to say, I've got some specifically for me, a goal that I have is for adventure. Like, I think a goal for our marriage is to, make space for adventures. And those adventures sometimes it's like, we're traveling and we're having an adventure there and we're doing something fun, but sometimes an adventure can be a new goal, like a new mutual goal. So like at the moment, like the Life with Dr. Amanda, which is like my Instagram and YouTube, that was like an adventure for us both to go on together. Like it's just finding new adventures. I think that's really
different
important.
Things,
having a lot of fun together.
Agreed.
Is a massive goal for us. Like there has to be enjoyment, and I think when the kids come into it, sometimes it can really make it seem like this is just your, like only your teammates. But like not even in a fun way. Like, get the diaries synced up, who's making dinner, who's putting down to bed, I'm going out and doing this tonight, you're going out to do that. Like, fun, but I want there to be fun there too.
Yeah, spontaneity. Make sure there's a level of spontaneity, which is important. I was thinking about the same thing today, actually, because we're going on holiday soon, and obviously you guys are going on holiday soon too. But we're thinking of all the things that we can do when we're out there. I know this is, I guess, what you'd say, fun and spontaneous, like a traditional adventure, but we are thinking of all the different things we can do, and I'm trying to get out there in terms of different things that I do. To be honest with you, I mean, I'm not all about the zip wiring life and all of that stuff, but if it makes it fun, as it's an opportunity to bond as well, see a different side of each other that you don't always see, not from this mundane day in day out. Create time for adventures and stuff. So yeah, we're going on holiday. We'll see how that goes, guys. I might post a couple of pictures of me, smashing myself against, I don't know, some rock out of frustration. No, like, I don't know. It'll be fun.
I want to be able to tell stories, like...
Yeah, like, tell your kids, or whatever. Yeah.
Or like, when you go out, say you do have like a double date or whatever, like what we did, it's nice, like when you're talking with people, you're able to share about things as well, because you have had adventures together, you've got stories to tell, and it's things that bond you together, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. That's your experience.
When you've adventured together, you've been bonded together, haven't you? So I think that's like a more specific goal for like something that I have for us too.
Yeah.
Do you have any?
Yes, definitely. A major goal for me is, as a couple, especially as Christians, is to have a relationship with God as a couple. Now I know that that is very difficult when the the throes of life, yeah, literally just overtake you, and life, when you're just doing life, it just is long sometimes, and it's very difficult to create and carve out that space to have that. But that, I guess, is probably at the top of my list. I probably should have said it first, but it is a major goal for me because it is ongoing. And it's, again, just like life, it is not linear. It is not straight up or whatever. Sometimes you plateau. Sometimes you take a dip. Sometimes other times that you're on the mountaintop and you're going all the way up. But it's a goal for me to have that relationship with God, with my husband, and to pray for him, like a proper, go into my closet and pray for my husband, like do war on my knees. Like, for me, that is really important. And there have been times when I've done that and I've seen, like, oh my gosh, paid dividends. But now that we have children as well, I think that's super important, is to have that relationship and have that family altar. Oh wow, so much jargon, but you guys know what I mean. Have that a relationship as a family, but also, most importantly, with you and your husband, or if you're a guy, you and your wife, with God, because that he is the person that brought you guys together in the first place. You can't just cut him out, and he's the one that's keeping you together. There are times when you're having, like, your communication is so poor that you don't even know what to say. You just have to pray and say, God, step in here because this situation is getting out of hand, or we really don't know how to navigate this dip. But that is a goal for me, is to have that. It's ongoing. It's moving, thank God. Like, sometimes it happens great, sometimes it doesn't happen, but that is a goal. That's an ideal. That is like a non-negotiable for me.
Yeah, very, very important, isn't it?
Yeah.
Especially when, like, if your faith is really important to you.
Yeah.
I think I know some people do it where they, maybe with someone that has a different faith to them, but I think if your faith is, like, so integral to you, I would struggle for it to be a negotiable thing.
Yeah.
And like you're saying, it does, even if your faith is important to you, it does wax and wane. Some moments you might be great where you're praying together all the time and everything, but I really wanted to be a praying wife. And I used to hear people church talk about being a praying wife and, like, how important it is to, like, the prayers of, like, the woman of the house. And I sometimes didn't know how to pray for my husband, like what I should be praying for, like all these different aspects. And there was actually these books that I read, it's called, like, The Praying Wife, The Praying Mother.
Oh yeah, I think I've heard
The Praying
of those.
Husband.
Yeah,
I'll link them somewhere, like in the show notes and in the little description bit. But yeah, The Praying Wife is excellent. Like, you go into there and, like, in the content it'd be like, pray for his career, pray for his health, pray for his fears, pray for, like, pray for his childhood, pray for him as a father, and you can go into that and see, like, different prayers. Wow. And, like, you just open your eye, like, how much, like, there is to really petition to God for your partner.
Yeah.
And yeah, and so if you don't know how to do it sometimes, like, it's not, I don't think there's anything wrong with, like, looking at these books and
getting some help is great, because other people will have written them from experience as well. So it's good, I mean, to draw from that experience. And also, I think as well, something simple, just ask your husband, what do you want me to pray for today? Like, I find that, for me, that is an easy place for me to start, because the way my husband's job is, the way Daryl's job is, it's kind of like events sort of focused a lot of the time, and he's got to make, it's almost every day he comes and said, how did that go, and I say to him, okay, so what is it that you've got on today? What do you want me to pray for? I've got this event, I've got that event, big client, I need to make sure everything goes well. And I'm just like, okay, I'll pray for you. What time is it? Okay, I'll pray. And I'll pray at that time of the day when I know it's happening. Because for him, that's important to know that he's been held up by a wife that is praying for him. And that is a major goal should be a goal for everybody if your faith is super important to you. But that's how I start. Just say, what is it that you need? What do you want me to pray about?
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was going to say another, oh my gosh, sorry, there's, like, a massive insect in the room.
Oh gosh, no. I had to kill a mosquito before I started this episode, because I was like, I'm not doing this.
Oh god.
Guys, if you're seeing this on YouTube, you can see Amanda is currently running from whatever it is that's in the room.
sorry. We're just gonna have to like
cut that out.
Okay.
Did you get it? Did you get it?
Yeah, I did.
What was it?
Very bad.
Daddy Longlegs.
Oh my gosh, it's still moving a little bit.
Get Raph to get it out. We'll
No, it's right. It's gone now.
Right, get it together. Get it together.
Sorry about that, guys. I was just dealing with a small animal.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I know what you mean. I'm the same. I know what you mean.
But yeah.
Also, goals is to make sure your husband doesn't mind insects, so he kills them. Goals.
But you know what? It's all right. He minds insects and he still kills them. That's when you know they love you. Okay. So another goal for me though is okay. We are, when we first started dating, especially even now, like when we're together and we're out, we are a bit of a PDA couple. Like we like to hold hands and all that kind of stuff.
Amanda.
Like we really are. That's just us.
You
and.
Anyway, I mean, I don't know. I'm not even like that. I get a bit like that, but I'm not really like that. And I guess whenever I try it, Dal gets annoyed with me. So I'm just like, whatever.
Yeah, and that's the thing. This is why it's a very specific goal for us. I don't want to lose that. So I remember there's this couple in church, and you could just always see how in love they are with each other. And it's not to say that the other people that don't do PDAs are not, because it's just what's individual for you. But because that's how me and Raph have always been.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I really don't ever want to lose that. And because I've seen people who are like that older, like,
it's nice to
even
see.
when they're, I really want to keep that. And so when we're out, like, I'm like, make sure you hold my hand. And like, when we sit down together, my leg is always tucked behind his. Like, I just like to be close to him. And I don't want to lose that. So like, a goal for me is that we are always intentional enough that like, we're still outward with how we show love. Because that's how we are.
Yeah.
That's one of my little relationship goals, that people can see that we're in love when we're out and about.
Cue the music. I'm going to insert some music here.
But what, Lisa? But honestly, yeah, I just like I don't want to get too complacent that the things that we are naturally like that we lose.
Yeah, of course. And you know what? That's what got the spark going in the first place. And that's another important thing, is you got to keep the spark going. Remember why you fell in love in the first place with whoever it is that you're with. Because then that will help, keep the spark alive for you guys. Sometimes, and I'm one that loves to reminisce as well. Like, oh, do you remember when we used to do this? Oh, do you remember when we were younger? And those things keep the spark alive. You have a little giggle and you just feel all loved up for 5 seconds and then you move on back to the household chores. But you know what I mean? Like, you just, you need to keep that alive. And I rate you guys for doing that, for having all of that PDA. Even though when I'm around you, I don't know what I'm going to do now. I think I'm just going to have my own PDA.
Oh, it's so funny. Yeah, like that's just how sorry. But we were distracted. We were doing stuff. But yeah, I just really like, not that we're like all like, we're not all over each other like kissing all that.
Oh gosh,
stuff.
no, those
but
people.
I like to sit close enough to him that I could practically be sitting on his lap.
Without sitting on his lap.
Like, I just like to be close to him, and I don't want to lose that. And so I think it's really important to try to keep some things that you used to do, and also trying to keep the attraction there. Like, yes, looks may fade, and you might get fat, you might get skinny, you might whatever.
Yeah.
But I don't want the attraction to fade, and I think the attraction fades when you start not knowing each other so well.
Yeah.
And so like another thing that is a goal is like we always try to be interested in whatever the other one's interested in. Even if it's like something that we're not really into. So like when Raph was like really into American football, I was there at his games. I was like on the journeys together, looking for helmets. When I started my YouTube, Raph learned how to edit. Like when I used to revise my exams, Raph would be revising with me, and he'd be able to name all the body parts. Like,
wow, go Raph.
Yeah. I want to go on the journeys together.
Yeah, that's
so even
important.
when it's an Amanda goal, it's an Amanda and Raph goal.
Yeah.
When it's a Raph goal, it's a Raph and Amanda goal. And I guess because we try and do that, keep in step with each other like that, that's how we keep knowing each other and we keep that attraction there, because we're
keep
not
the
like
spark alive.
We're not losing each other. Like, it's not like, oh, he likes American football, I don't know what any of that is, or he's really into the gym, I don't really get any of that, or he likes to do this.
Yeah.
I like to just be in with it a bit.
That is important.
Like, I'll watch his YouTube videos about cars. He loves to watch people, review cars.
Oh my gosh, Dal is on that. Oh my
days. And I
days.
watch Top Gear.
And
I
all
watch
of that,
Top Gear. Top Gear is actually entertaining. But like, I
Yeah,
make
and
sure
you
that I
might
do
start
that.
to enjoy it yourself as well, you know, guys. You never know.
I like Top
Like,
Gear. I do like Top Gear. The YouTube videos reviewing cars, I could
you
leave
can
them,
skip
to be
that.
quite honest
I
with
tell you
you.
what. I tell you one thing though. I used to like. Obviously, when you first get married, your lives merge together, and I was never into football. Like, my dad wasn't a football kind of person, so football was never something that was on in our house. Like, literally, you never on with that. Oh, skip it, move it, change channel, whatever. Not interested. Never had a team to support. I don't know, and I don't have any brothers, so that would just be football's nothing. A bit of nothing in our house. Well, very much nothing. And then when I got married to Daryl and started living with him, like, he was all over Liverpool and all of that. And guys, I'm not here for the football bants, okay? So don't put anything in the comments. But yeah, he was all over like Liverpool and football, all of that. And I was like, I couldn't get it at first. I was like, what is this? People kicking around a piece of plastic into a net. I couldn't get it. But you know what? Over time, I'm watching football matches with him now, and that's our Sunday. Like, Super Sunday is a big thing in our yard. Like, and I will enjoy. I'll be like, oh, did you see that? Oh my goodness, wow, they scored. Yeah. I'm just like really excited. I really love to watch a good football match. The full 90 minutes. But again, enjoying something, yeah, no, but yeah, enjoying something that he enjoys, you know? And you might enjoy it yourself. Yeah, you might enjoy it yourself.
No, exactly.
I'm definitely not a football head.
And sometimes, yeah, and sometimes I can't get into everything though. So like the football stuff. But what I will do is like, so his American football. I try my best, but like when we went abroad, I made sure we got tickets to see like an American football game. And you know, just like and every year the NFL come to England. They have like a game here, and the last like 2-3 years,
you've gone
I've got
to them.
tickets for him and his friend. No, I haven't gone, but I've gotten tickets for him and his friend to go. You know, just like, you know,
yeah,
go on, have fun. Let me like just getting a bit interested, and I'm always the one to like book the tickets and stuff.
Yeah.
Like I try and get into it, and like for example, me, I really love my cooking shows, my property shows, and like my murder mystery shows. And Raf's not really into that, but like he'll buy me things for like my birthday, like different cooking equipment, or he'll buy me like the MasterChef apron because he knows that I'd love that, and he just so like it's like supporting each other and understanding
nurturing each other's interests.
Yeah, even if you can't fully get into it, still like giving a bit of effort.
That is a good one as well. I don't think I have. I mean, I'm not saying I don't have any more goals, but like they're getting more and more specific over time.
Right. So, yeah, absolutely.
But we want to hear what you guys' goals are as well.
Yeah, exactly. It's a really important conversation, guys. Relationship goals are important, but do it in the right way.
Yeah, exactly.
Put people on a pedestal.
Yeah.
And then when they fall off that pedestal,
you're also falling. Exactly. Exactly.
But thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this episode.
Yes.
I hope it got you thinking. For those of you that aren't married or are married, or those of you that are like heading into marriage, hopefully it's got you thinking about what should your relationship goals be, and maybe it'll spark some conversation as well.
Yeah, because we aren't actually the gurus, guys. I mean, we're just ordinary, like, we're your sisters, so to be honest, whatever we talk about, it's just, I guess a lot of the time you can relate. Well, we want you to be able to relate, so you guys need to share with us tips too, because I guess we could also learn from you guys. We want to, whatever it is that you guys have found that's working for you, and you know, it's a good thing to sort of try and cultivate in a relationship, a relationship goal, then please share your relationship goals with us, because we want to learn too, you know. Might not something overly outlandish, but even if it's outlandish, it's fine, you know. We just want to know what your goals, you guys' goals are, so you know, maybe we can learn from you guys too.
Yeah. And so with that said, make sure you follow us over at Instagram. Like I said, we're at so.sis.podcast. Also, you can also find us on YouTube as well, at Sis Pod, where we are. Is it Sis Pod?
Sis Pod, or Sis Podcast, whichever one it is.
You'll find us. Whichever, you'll find us, and you can watch all our episodes, the visual part of it, if you want to see what we look like. And we also stream on all our podcasts, all the podcast streaming platforms. You can find us just by searching Sis.
Yeah.
We upload every week on a Sunday evening, so I hope you've enjoyed this episode. That's episode 3 in the bag.
Yeah.
And we will see you again next week for episode 4.
Yeah. What have we got coming up? Or we're going to keep it a secret for this week?
No, next week, I think we do have a plan. Next week, we're talking about finding ourselves.
Yes, finding yourself.
Finding yourself.
Yeah.
A bit about identity. And so make sure you listen. I'll
All
see
right,
you then.
guys. We will chat to you another time in between. And like Amanda said, catch up with us on socials. And I don't know why I'm putting this
Bye.
voice on, but bye.
Bye.